All right, guys, this video is going to review the problems that hopefully you tried on your own if you got stuck with them at all. So for this first, okay, everything's just disappearing. That's awesome. Okay. All right, let's try this again. So for this guy, let's go ahead and take the derivative. So low, I'm going to put my d high out front, minus high, d low for that guy is 2x, all over this guy squared. So I'm going to distribute in because I don't really have, I mean, I can pull out a GCF of 2x, but it's not going to do a ton for me. So I have 2x cubed minus 8x. I'm going to distribute the negative and this 2x at the same time. So I have minus 2x cubed minus 2x. Okay, so the 2x cubes cancel, and I get negative 10x over x squared minus 4, that whole quantity squared. So we're going to bypass doing like the intervals of increasing, decreasing, all that jazz, and we're going to go straight to second derivative. So let's do another quotient rule. So low, d high is a negative 10. I'm going to put that out front. Minus high, and then d low. This involves a chain rule. Swing that 2, subtract 1, don't forget that times 2x. Now this is over x minus 4 to the 4th. So at this point, I'm going to get all those what I call loose ends together. So I have a 10x, a 2, and a 2x. So that's going to be negative 40x squared, and then that x squared minus 4. All over that guy. Okay, so if I pull out a GCF, I'm going to do negative 10 and x squared minus 4 to the 1. So what's left from this first piece here is an x squared minus 4. Now, if I take out a negative 10, what's left here is a positive 4x squared, and I took the x squared minus 4. So I'll bring back the denominator in 1 second here. From here, and this is where I feel like a lot of you get stuck. Okay. Messed up a sign here. Hopefully somebody sees it and is yelling at me in their head. This should have been a minus a negative, so a plus. That's my bad. So then this turns to a negative. Okay. So what I have left here when I combine like terms is negative 3x squared minus 4, and then all over that denominator. You can reduce that to a cube on the bottom. So what I want to find is when is this undefined or equal to 0? Well, it's undefined at, hopefully you said plus and minus 2 from that denominator. Now, if you think about the top here, when specifically this piece would equal 0, if you start to solve that, add over that 4, divide over, can you get something squared equal to negative 4/3? No. So the only things we're going to worry about are the plus and minus 2. And we want to test in our derivative, second derivative. So I'm going to just write the completely simplified version here of this, just so I don't get mixed up in the stuff that I canceled. All right, so if I test something like, say, negative 3. So the negative 10 out front is clearly negative. Negative 3 squared, 9 times that negative minus another negative, so that's a negative, divided by, that's going to be 9 minus 4, so 5 cubed, so a positive. So overall, this is positive. If I test, say, 0. So I have the negative from the 10. Sorry, my screen keeps jumping. If I put in 0 here, all I have left is the negative 4, so a negative. On the bottom, if I put in 0, I have negative 4 cubed, which is also a negative. So overall, this is negative. If I test, say, 3. Now think about this. Anywhere I'm plugging in 3 is squared, so it's going to come out the exact same way as negative 3 did. Okay, so I am concave up from negative infinity to negative 3, 2 to infinity. Why did I say negative 3? I meant negative 2. And 2 to infinity, and I'm concave down from negative 2 to 2, and I have POIs at x equals negative 2 and 2. If you wanted those full order pairs, you could plug them back into the original. Wait. Oh, bad, Miss J. No, those are not actually POIs. I was just about to plug them back into the original. You can't plug them back into the original because you have VAs at x equals plus and minus 2. So our concavity is still all good with the concave up and down, but those POIs, there are no actual POIs because x equals plus m minus 2 don't exist on the original graph. I got ahead of myself there before I went back up and looked. Okay, so that's the explanation for that guy if you needed it. Example 2 and 3 on the right-hand side. So example 2 here, they gave you f double prime, so that's awesome. So where is this undefined? So we're undefined. Oh my goodness. We're undefined at x equals 0. And where is it equal to 0? If we set that in there, we get x equals 2. Okay, so on our little sine graph, sine interval thing, we want to put 0 and 2, and we want to test those in the second derivative. Okay, so if I test, say, -1, okay, my numerator is going to be a positive. The cube root of a negative is a negative, so overall this is negative. If I test 1, my top is going to, my top is going to be positive and my bottom's going to be positive. So overall this section's positive. Real sorry, guys. Having some hard times here. If I plug in 3, my numerator's negative and my bottom's positive, so overall this is negative. It wants the x coordinate of the point or points of inflection. So both of those change sign, so I have, and they both, no, I almost did it again. Okay, 0 will not nope, that's f double prime. That's my bad. My goodness. So they're both POIs. That's f double prime. And it's continuous, so it's fine. It doesn't have a VA 0. So both of those are POIs. Okay, it did not ask to justify. That's all it asked for. This guy just wants the x coordinate of the points of inflection. Now this is f, so f prime f double prime. Okay, I'm going to pull out a GCF of 20x. Keep factoring this. So I want to know where is this equal to 0. It's not undefined anywhere, so undefined's none. My zeros are x equals 0 and 3. So if I line those up, now remember I'm going to test in my second derivative. So if I test a -1, clearly this outside piece is a negative. This piece is always positive, so negative. If I test 1, we really don't even need to worry about this because it's always positive, so that'd be positive. And then if I would test, say, 4, that's also positive. So this one's the x coordinates of the points of inflection. So our points of inflection occur at x equals just 0. Now this part over here, this is a student response, and you're supposed to basically find the error. Sorry, that wasn't clear in the notes, I don't think. So they say there are inflection points at 0 and 3 because f double prime equals 0 at those values. Well, that's not true, okay? Because f double prime must change sign. So that's false. Okay. All right, once again, mark if you have any questions, and we can chat more tomorrow.